how are you all? So I have to talk about this one. It's a little personal for me. We're talking about Amy Coney Barrett and the Girl Scouts. It's personal because I used to be in the Girl Scouts. I'm a woman. And when I told you guys that I've worked for psychiatric hospitals and centers for abused and neglected kids. Well, I always worked with young girls. So this one definitely strikes a bit of a chord with me. But before we really get into what happened with the Girl Scouts, I want to show you a clip from Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation speech that she gave last Tuesday when she was confirmed as a Supreme Court justice. And here's a little bit of it. And the reason I want to show you this is so we know exactly who we're talking about when we get into this story. So here it is.
The confirmation process has made ever clearer to me one of the fundamental differences between the federal judiciary and the United States Senate. And perhaps the most acute is the role of policy preferences. It is the job of a senator to pursue her policy preferences. In fact, it would be a dereliction of duty for her to put policy goals aside. By contrast, it is the job of a judge to resist her policy preferences. It would be a dereliction of duty for her to give in to them. Federal judges don't stand for election. Thus, they have no basis for claiming that their preferences reflect those of the people. This separation of duty from political preference is what makes the judiciary distinct among the three branches of government. A judge declares independence not only from Congress and the president, but also from the private beliefs that might otherwise move her. The judicial oath captures the essence of the judicial duty. The rule of law must always control.
Great, right? So in response to Amy Coney Barrett being confirmed on Tuesday, the Girl Scouts, who are representative of all girls, tweeted this out, which to me seems pretty appropriate. And they said, "Congratulations, Amy Coney Barrett, on becoming the fifth woman appointed to the Supreme Court since its inception in 1978. So they put her up there with the other four women who have been in the Supreme Court. Nothing wrong with that, right? Well, they got a lot of backlash, and I'll read you a few of the tweets right now. This is actually someone, it says U.S. House candidate, MA District 7, Democratic candidate. What kind of patch does one earn for uplifting a woman who is the antithesis of justice?" So that's what Ayanna Pressley had to say. And then this is just a quote, but this was a tweet out. I'm not going to put the person's name. "I already felt uneasy as a trans person in this organization, but now I really understand that with this message that Girl Scouts really does not support me or my trans/LGBTQ siblings," okay? And that's what another person said, but that wasn't it. They got a storm of backlash. So what did they do? They took the tweet down and then they released this. Earlier today, we shared a post highlighting the 5 women who have been appointed to the Supreme Court. It was quickly viewed as political and partisan in a partisan statement, which was not our intent, and we have removed the post. Girl Scouts of the USA is a non-political, non-partisan organization. We are neither red nor blue, but Girl Scout green. We are here to lift up girls and women. Okay, that's really interesting because those 5 women, they represented women that are Democrat and women that are conservative. So wouldn't that encompass all women? And why is Amy Coney Barrett divisive? Did you hear anything divisive that she said in her speech? Amy Coney Barrett, and actually all of the justices that Donald Trump has nominated into the Supreme Court or has appointed into the Supreme Court, they are all originalists and they are constitutionalists. So that means that they take their feelings and they put them aside and they stick to the Constitution. And that's what Amy Barrett has always said from the very beginning. They do not like her because of her religion and because of the party that appointed her and the person that appointed her. That is the only reason they don't like her. So what does that mean? That means that you are, if you're saying you want this down, you are the one being divisive, not Amy. She is not a divisive person. You're looking at her personal life and who appointed her and making her a divisive individual. But she has said from the very beginning that she is for the Constitution and that she has always practiced putting her feelings aside in order to rule in the favor of the Constitution. And actually, one of my favorite things that Amy Coney Barrett has ever said, she said this during the hearings. She said, whenever I am on a case, whenever I think of my official ruling on the case, I think at the person that is on the other end of it, whether I'm ruling for or against it, I imagine that that person is my child. And that is when I know that I am making the right decision. I stick to the Constitution. And I always think, and your child is probably the most personal thing for you. I think Amy Coney Barrett is an absolute inspiration to all women. And it's sad that nobody looks beyond the rhetoric or the narrative that is being created around her. And my question too is, so if I'm a teacher, maybe an elementary school teacher, middle school teacher, a high school teacher, if I'm a teacher and I'm discussing all the women that are Supreme Court justices, is it partisan to speak of Amy Coney Barrett? How is that partisan, but no one else is partisan? And Fox News actually weighed in on this a little bit, and they released this article today. Girl Scouts deletes tweet congratulating ACB, but leaves Hillary Clinton post up. So they went and dug up this post that was released in 2013 that is still up, that they did not take down, that no one complained about. And it says, why is it so important to have female political leadership in the United States? Hillary Clinton explains in this article. So now they're not political and now they're not one-sided, yet they still have this post up. But if you look further at the article, they actually say the real reason why they took it down, and that's here. So a spokeswoman for the Girl Scouts, this is also the article by Fox News, a spokesperson for the Girl Scouts told Fox News that the organization has a legacy of highlighting women who have risen to the top of their fields, including leaders of both political parties and our judicial branch. The spokesperson reiterated that while Barrett was congratulated as a part of this decision, it was removed to minimize the negative conversation after being constructed as a political statement or construed as a political statement. For over 100 years, we have worked and will continue to work for equality and to break down barriers for girls who have worked for girls everywhere and support increasing presence of women across all levels of government. So, you know, it's interesting. If I was a parent of a girl in the Girl Scouts, I would ask to talk to a manager on this one. I would be pretty upset about this. But they took the only reason they took this down basically was because of the backlash, which is basically what they're saying. If no one said anything, they would have kept it up, but they got so many negative comments, so many people threatening them that they took it down. If this was my organization, how I would have responded to this, I would have kept that tweet up and I would have made a video talking about why we're keeping it up, and that we are someone that supports all women, no matter what background, no matter what orientation, no matter what religious affiliation or political party or race or anything of that nature. I find it incredibly disappointing that they took it down. And again, they could have used this as a teaching moment. And I think by not doing that, they actually did a disservice to the young girls that are in the Girl Scouts. But one of my favorite things that I saw about sort of the left's reaction of Amy Coney Barrett and who she actually is by this girl. This was a tweet by Caroline Craig David. I don't know who she is, but I really like what she had to say. Amy Coney Barrett will be only the 5th woman to sit on the court. She will be the first mother of school-age children to sit on the highest court in the country. Feminist? Silent. Even though this shows that women can achieve their dreams and be a mother. So that's all I have to say about that. What a shame, Girl Scouts. What a shame. Okay, bye guys.